Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I am Toy, and well, this is the life. For those of you who are just turning in, I am a mother. I'm a wife of 20 years. I'm a first-time homeowner. I'm a vegetarian. I homeschool. I'm a home health aide for my mom, and I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and the list goes on. So if any of these things interest you, then stay tuned on this channel, be leveling up on this channel. And one thing I didn't mention is I am 6 months locked in, baby. So I actually made a whole video about this, and I had to delete it because it was much too long and it was too many distractions going on. So I will try to get straight to the point. So guys, I have been, as I mentioned, 6 months locked in, and I think that qualifies me to be able to share some tricks and tips that I might have. So that's basically what this video will be about. Before I start this video, before anyone want to come for me, I have not had a retwist in about a month. And on top of that, I am learning that this is the normal. When you get locks, like, people see the freshness, they see the retwist. It's a good look, it's a good vibe. Don't get me wrong, I think everyone enjoys a retwist, but I want to say 50% of the time, maybe even 65% of the time, your hair is going to be frizzy because you're allowing your hair to grow from your scalp and be on its natural. With that being said, your hair cannot be uniform 24/7. So I'm embracing this. So please don't come in these comments talking about my hair, because I'm not here to get your opinion on my hair. That was so mean. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, I'm usually sweet as pie, but people can be really cruel with their comments. And so I just want to be clear that this is a video to just give my own tips. Your locks may not look directly like how mine do, but I think these tips are kind of beneficial for anyone who has locks. So first of all, I installed my own locks, and I have not been to a professional ever since I've had locks. I installed one batch of locks, did not care for them, and then reinstalled these ones because the first batch I had, it did not have a middle part. When I did this batch of locks, I started off with just grabbing hair and twisting. It started as a 2-strand twist, and I do have a middle part, but I think that's probably the only place I have a part. Sorry, I got some that's like getting together. Lord, they marrying each other and all that up in here. But so I literally just put a part in the middle, and that from that point forward, I took this part of hair, I put it in a ponytail, and I just started grabbing hair and twisting it. So I don't necessarily have a parting method. My hair doesn't necessarily have parts, and that's what I wanted, because I wanted to see less scalp. So the tips that I've learned, or things that have helped me, for one, is I realized you need a bonnet or a bandana. It's not optional. So I have a sister-in-law who says she doesn't use a bonnet or a bandana because she can't get them to stay on her head, and she has locks, and her locks are thriving. They're very healthy. So this is for the majority. She's a unicorn. So her and specifically, that works for her. But typically for most hair textures, the reason I say you need a bandana is, for one, is to manage the frizz. I am comfortable with my frizz now, but hence, when I had 2-strand twists, like when I had just started to lock my hair up, the frizz was more. So now my hair is getting some weight to it. The frizz is not as bad. Like I said, it's been about a month, no retwist, and I'm comfortable. Like, yeah, it's not, I mean, definitely it's frizzy. Let's put that out there. And definitely it might look more uniform, more neat if I were to have a retwist, but I'm cool with this. When I had my 2-strand twist, when I say the frizz was real, the frizz was real, because the hair was not used to being coiled like that. So it was going which and where ways, you know. And so that's for one. For two is the length factor. So I find that when I was really pressed to show off my licks, when I was really pressed to show off my locks, I would be in the house, laying down on pillows, things of that nature, wearing hooded type things such as I am right now, you know, trying to look cute. And I was prone to getting more lint. Now, I didn't have obsessive lint, but I had enough lint that I was like, I'm doing something wrong. And the more I wore my bonnet in the house, like times that I'm not showing my, like I'm not going outside to show my hair, then you will see me 90% of the time in the house with a bonnet or a bandana on. I thought a bandana, it typically works better for me than a bonnet, because a bandana not only prevents from the lint, but it also manages the frizz a lot more rather than a bonnet. So that's tip number 1. Get you a bandana, sis. Tip number 2 is oil. So some of the oils I recommend is grapeseed. This is one of my favorite tops. Coconut oil. And I also have an herbal oil that I like. This is kind of when you're trying to be on the price side of things, because this is a really cheap oil and you get a lot. So it's an herbal oil. African's Best. It's not natural. Like my grapeseed and my coconut oil, I could literally cook with those things if I wanted to. That's how natural they are. I could taste them, no problem. This is not. This is very processed. But with that being said, it doesn't give me a lot of buildup, and I love the scent of it. And it's a really cheap option, you know. So I just kind of massage that up in there. Hence, when I say oil, I don't oil my hair. I oil my scalp. So I suffer with dry scalp. So this cures it. That's what I found. And I try to use light oils, nothing too heavy, so I don't get a lot of product buildup. Okay, so my next tip is going to be this one right here. Agua, water. So I say get yourself a spritz bottle. And I love my spritz bottle because it has this thing where you push it once and the water still, okay, well, it ain't acting right now, but the water will still keep coming out. I don't spritz my roots. Now, for the sake of this video, I feel like I just did spritz my roots, but I try not to. I'm more so focused on the hair. So when my hair gets dry, I love spritzing it with some water at the ends. It does cause a little shrinkage once it dries up, but that's all good. It makes my hair feel light, moisturized. And I know some people gonna be like, well, water is not necessarily, I don't know, I heard a video and they was like, water, like putting water on your hair is not going to moisturize your hair. But I feel like that's what it's doing for me. So I don't know, sis. I don't know. But that's kind of, less is more. That's the next tip. So try to avoid heavy products and too much products. I usually put oil on my scalp every other day. I use water every other day. And honey, that's it. Like, that's it. But when I do a retwist, I will use some type of a gel. So I was using a gel that was holding it, hon. I ain't even gonna put that brand out there right now because I ain't trying to have them come to me. So I had a gel that was doing its job, but it was giving me buildup. Like I was experiencing more flakes, especially within the coil. And that, yeah. So I recommend something that is natural, very light, and hence, which leads me to my next, it's nice and light. What leads me to my next suggestion is, once again, less is more. Please do not retwist too often. It's damaging for the root, and your hair is getting heavy. Your lock will start to thicken. I'm going to insert some pictures, but when I first installed these locks, like if you can see how, I'm trying to get a really good, nice, thick one. Let me see. Okay, here's a good one here. If you can see how thick this lock is, this lock was half this size when I first put this in as a 2-strand twist. So with that being said, your hair is going to get heavier, it's going to thicken, and you need that root to be able to withstand that weight, to be able to have a good structure for that. It's just like a house. When you're building a house, you have to have a nice foundation, a nice structure. So you want to make sure that you're not putting too much weight on that structure, on that foundation. So by constantly swirling it, constantly palm rolling it, you're putting way too much strain on that hair, and it eventually over time will become damaged. So that's kind of my tips. I also advise when it comes to things such as chemicals like coloring your hair, make sure your locks are more, first of all, don't color your hair in the baby stages. If your hair was already colored prior to getting your locks, then you can't do nothing about that. But if you just got you some starter locks, I would advise at least waiting until your locks are at the budding stage, which would mean you're at least 5 or more months in. Then maybe you can consider coloring. But these are my tips. Another tip I have is when I go to bed, I typically will just leave the hair out and just put the bandana on tightly. Not too tight, but tight enough. I at first started to do stuff like put my hair in a ponytail, but I realized it was causing a lot of strain. And even when it comes to styling, I don't style often because it causes strain. Now, you know, I don't know, maybe your hair, your scalp is not as tender as mine, but for me personally, anything that causes too much strain, I'm staying away from it because I like my edges. I mean, I haven't done no edges since I had locks, but I still like to have them there if I need them. So these are kind of my tips. As I mentioned, I'm going to insert some pictures. If I do style, I do simple stuff, y'all. I don't do too much. I do little stuff like this. Or, let me see here. Let me see if I can get a good one. It's kind of like my favorite. It's kind of something like that. And like that. And like that. And I love dramatic looks. So, now this is not the color I'm going for, but we're going to work with it, baby. We're going to work with it. So, see, I like stuff like this. If I do style, I do simple stuff. I don't do much. This right here, this is the style. This is the vibe for me. This is the vibe. So, yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to insert not only pictures of my lock journey, but I'm also going to insert pictures of baby boy because I know you guys love seeing him, and in the first video he actually was in it and he got cut out because he was doing too much and the video wound up being all about him. But I'm going to insert a couple of clips of that video that I had started on just so y'all can see what I'm dealing with, why I don't post as often. And thank you so much as always for supporting the channel, for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So ladies, gents, whoever, stay strong. So this is day 1, and this is literally every retwist I've done ever since then. This is typically how I always wear my hair. And yeah, this is when I really start feeling myself. And so as you guys can see, the hair is thickening as time goes on. Especially if you look back at day 1's picture, big transformation. As I mentioned, when I started this post, I was 6 months locked in, and now I'm 7. So, ow. Excuse me, sir. What were you doing? Sir. Sir. Get your stinky feet out of my dishwasher. It's to me. Missa. Bussa. Bussa Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. Get out of there, Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Baby. Say bye-bye.
Oh, my goodness. Come here, come here, come here. I know. Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes. Move. I got him. Busta Rhymes. Come on. Stop showing off for the camera. Say hi, camera. Say hi. Busta Rhymes. That you.